नमस्कार, मैं प्रोफेसर नरेंद्र कुमार पांडे, फिजिक्स डिपार्टमेंट, लखनऊ यूनिवर्सिटी से। आज मैं वेव मोशन लेक्चर सीरीज का छठा लेक्चर के साथ में आपके सामने में आया हूं। और आज के लेक्चर का जो टॉपिक है वो है द सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल। वेव्स का ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक माना जाता है सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल, क्योंकि अगर हम सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल को समझ लेते हैं तो हमारे लिए इंटरफेरेंस, बीट्स, स्टेशनरी वेव्स, इन सारी चीजों को समझना बहुत आसान हो जाता है। और सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल जो है ये बहुत ही बेसिक प्रिंसिपल है जो कि हम आज समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं आज के अपने वेव मोशन लेक्चर सीरीज के छठे लेक्चर में, जिसका टॉपिक है द सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल। क्या है सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल? When two or more waves of the same kind meet at a point in space, the resultant displacement at that point is the vector sum of the displacements that the individual waves would separately produce at that point. यानी अगर कोई एक वेव आता y1 is equal to a sin omega t minus kx और वहां पर कुछ डिस्प्लेसमेंट प्रोड्यूस करता, लेट अस से एट टाइम t at x y1 डिस्प्लेसमेंट प्रोड्यूस करता, दूसरा उसी तरह का एक वेव आता और वो y2 डिस्प्लेसमेंट प्रोड्यूस करता, तो अगर दोनों एक साथ आते तो दोनों मिलकर के y is equal to y1 plus y2 डिस्प्लेसमेंट प्रोड्यूस करेंगे। यानी चाहे अकेला हो वेव, चाहे दूसरे के प्रेजेंस में हो या बहुत सारे वेव के प्रेजेंस में हो, हर वेव अपना रोल ऐसे अदा करेगा जैसे कि और कोई प्रेजेंट ही नहीं हो, और तब उसका डिस्प्लेसमेंट जितना होता, उसका इफेक्ट जो होता, वही सभी के प्रेजेंस में भी उसका इफेक्ट उतना ही होगा। दिस इज सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल। व्हेन टू और मोर वेव्स ऑफ द सेम काइंड मीट एट ए पॉइंट इन स्पेस, the resultant displacement at that point is the vector sum of the displacements that the individual waves would separately produce at that point. This is superposition principle. Now, यानी इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? For all linear systems in the superposition process, for all linear systems in the superposition process, the net response caused by two or more stimuli or impetus जो हम बाहर से देते हैं प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए, so for all linear systems in the superposition process, the net response caused by two or more stimuli or impetus is the sum of the responses that would be caused by each stimulus or impetus individually, जैसा मैंने ऊपर में डेफिनेशन बताया। यानी अगर कोई इनपुट है F1, वो प्रोड्यूस करता है रिस्पॉन्स X1, और दूसरा इनपुट सेपरेटली प्रोड्यूस करता, F2 प्रोड्यूस करता है रिस्पॉन्स X2, और दोनों अगर एक साथ में होते हैं इनपुट F1 प्लस F2 साइमल्टेनियसली इनपुट डाला जाता है, तो हमारा जो रिस्पॉन्स होगा वो X1 प्लस X2 होगा। A function fx that satisfies the superposition principle is called a linear function। यानी f is equal to f, जो हम दोनों का सम करेंगे F1 प्लस F2 का, तो दैट इज इक्वल टू X1 प्लस X2। अगर इस सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल को कोई भी फंक्शन सेटिस्फाई करता है, देन दैट फंक्शन इज ए लीनियर फंक्शन। fx1 plus x2 is equal to fx1 plus fx2. The superposition principle can be applied to systems which can be modeled as linear systems. And in case of vectors, the superposition is interpreted as vector sum. Very simply. Now, the superposition principle applies to any linear system. Superposition principle applies to any linear system, like an algebraic equation or a linear differential equation or any other equation of these forms. The stimuli or impetus that we are giving and the responses could be functions, they could be vectors, they could be numbers, they could be time-dependent waves. Like for example, here we are talking about waves. So ये जो स्टिमुलस या हम इम्पीटस की बात कर रहे हैं, जो हम देते हैं सिस्टम को कोई रिस्पॉन्स प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए, ये फंक्शंस भी हो सकते हैं, वेक्टर्स भी हो सकते हैं, नंबर्स भी हो सकते हैं, और हमारी ये वेव्स भी हो सकते हैं, जो कि वेव मोशन में आज हम बात कर रहे हैं। तो अभी तक हमने सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल के बारे में जनरल बात की है कि जो सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल को फॉलो करेगा वो bonded होगा as linear systems. Waves that do not obey the superposition principle are said to be non-linear waves. यानी जो वेव सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल को फॉलो करते हैं वो लीनियर वेव्स हैं, जो सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल को फॉलो नहीं करते हैं वो नॉन लीनियर वेव्स हैं. ना सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल को आप ऐसे भी सोच सकते हैं, एक करस्पॉन्डेंस के लिए आप समझ करके, जैसे हम कहते हैं लॉ ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ फोर्सेस. क्या होता है लॉ ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ फोर्सेस? भाई एक फोर्स आया F1, m मास है, उसने m मास पर एक्शन के बाद में F1 अपॉन m इज इक्वल टू a1 प्रोड्यूस किया एक्सेलरेशन. दूसरा फोर्स आया F2, उसने m मास पर a2 इज इक्वल टू f अपॉन m2 एक्सेलरेशन प्रोड्यूस किया. तीसरा फोर्स F3 आया, m मास सेम m मास पर उसने अकेला f अपॉन यानी F3 अपॉन m उसने प्रोड्यूस किया इज इक्वल टू a3. अब सोचिए कि ये सारे फोर्सेस एक साथ में आ रहे हैं F, तो F हम क्या लिखेंगे? F is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3 is equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus as many number of forces are there, so many number of accelerations. यानी ये फोर्स चाहे अकेला काम कर रहा हो उस मास पर, तब जो एक्सेलरेशन प्रोड्यूस करेगा इंडिविजुअली एग्जैक्टली उतना ही एक्सेलरेशन वो प्रोड्यूस करेगा. जब सारे फोर्सेस एक्ट कर रहे हो तब वो फोर्स इस समय भी उतना ही प्रोड्यूस करेगा एक्सेलरेशन जितना वो अकेला करता, और हर एक फोर्स ऐसे ही करेगा. और अंत में अगर फोर्सेस हमारे वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज हैं तो हम वेक्टर सम से नेट एक्सेलरेशन फाइंड आउट करेंगे. अगर हम सारे के सारे एक डायरेक्शन में लग रहे हैं तो सिंपल सम से भी सारे का हमारा नेट एक्सेलरेशन निकल जाएगा. दैट इज द लॉ ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ फोर्सेस, और यही लॉ ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ फोर्सेस एक एग्जांपल है सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल का भी. व्हेन देयर आर सेवरल फोर्सेस acting on one object, each one will act as if it were the only one present. They don't affect each other. That is superposition principle. Now, another example of a superposition principle, let us say in this animation, we have this a pure rotation. You can see that a wheel is simply rotating. And another one is that it is a pure translation, that it is moving, that its center of mass is moving forward. You can see from here, once again, this wheel is rotating about its center of mass. This is a pure rotation case. And in the next case, we are saying that it's a pure translation case when the center of mass of this wheel is moving forward. And a result of superposition of pure rotation and translation can be seen as this one, that its center of mass is that moving forward as well as the wheel is rotating about the center of mass. So rolling motion is simply a superposition of rotation, pure rotation and pure translation. Now here you can see, this is the superposition of two waves. You can see two waves traveling in opposite direction across the same medium combined linearly. In this animation, both waves have the same wavelength and sum of amplitude results in a standing wave. One is moving to the right, the other is moving to the left. Both are similar waves, same waves moving in the two opposite directions along the same line, and we have the resultant as, you can say, standing or a stationary wave. So this is again an example of superposition principle, that at a point, at any point you can suppose, at any point, if y1 is the displacement produced by the first wave, if y2 is the displacement produced by second wave independently, then the two waves combined will produce a displacement of y is equal to y1 plus y2. And the resultant will be given by the sum of y1 and y2. So this is again an example of the superposition principle. The superposition principle can be understood by considering the linear wave equation. We define a linear wave as a wave whose mathematical expression obeys the linear wave equation. For a transverse wave on a string with an elastic restoring force, the linear wave equation is given by this. For a transverse wave on a string with an elastic restoring force, the linear wave equation is this. Its derivation you can find in any ordinary book. Del 2y as a function of xt, del x square is equal to 1 by v square del 2yx as a function of xt del t square. So for a transverse wave on a string with an elastic restoring force, the linear wave equation is given by this formula. Any wave function y as a function of xt, like y is equal to a sine omega t minus kx also. Any wave function y is equal to xt is equal to y is equal to x minus plus vt, where the argument x minus plus vt function is linear. Then this is a solution of the linear wave equation. If this is linear, then this is a solution of this linear wave equation. And this wave equation has many solutions. So y1x2 and y2x2 are solutions to the linear wave equation. The sum of the two functions, that is y1 as a function of x2 and y2 as a function x2, then this too is also a solution of the linear wave equation. Mechanical waves that obey superposition normally restricted to waves with amplitude that are small with respect to their wavelength. Generally, mechanical waves that obey superposition principle are normally those waves which have amplitudes that are small with compared to their wavelengths. So this is the wave equation, and these are the solutions. y1x2 and y2x2 are the solutions of this. They are linear, and their combination is also a solution of the linear wave equation, and these are linear functions. And its solutions can be many types, out of which we generally prefer sinusoidal solutions. So for example, y is equal to a sine omega t plus minus kx, etc. This kind of solution we presume for the convenience. When two linear waves in the same medium interfere, the height of the resulting wave is the sum of the heights of the individual waves that we have seen earlier, taken point by point. This plot shows two waves, red and blue, added together along the resulting wave, that is the black. You can see from here. So this is the height here 1, this is the height here 2, and this 3 is the height here, and 3 is equal to 1 plus 2. Taken at another point, this is the height in the negative 4, this is the height in the negative 5, so this is the height in the negative 6, so 6 is equal to 4 plus 5. So when two linear waves in the same medium interfere, the height of the resultant wave is the sum of the heights of the individual waves, taken point by point. This plot shows two waves, red and blue, added together along the resulting wave, that is the black one. These graphs represent the heights of the wave at each point. The waves may be any linear wave, including ripples on a pond, disturbance on a string, sound wave, or an electromagnetic wave. Mind it, these waves may be of any kind of wave, any kind of linear wave. And what, for examples here we have ripples on a pond. They also behave like this. That two waves are coming and acting on a single water particle, and the total displacement will be equal to the individual displacements. Disturbance on a string, sound wave, or electromagnetic, all of them will give the same effect. They are all linear waves and they have the same effect like what we have seen over here as a result of superposition. Superposition of non-identical waves exhibit both constructive and destructive interferences. Depending on where they meet, whether a positive displacement is meeting of one wave is meeting with the negative displacement of the other wave, so that will depend on that. So superposition of two waves with zero phase difference, you can see that the crest of the two are at the same point, trough of the two are at the same point in the two waves. And if you take the superposition of the two waves, you can see this is the resultant, that is the amplitude at each point will be added up and you will have the resultant coming like this. So this gives you the superposition of two waves with zero phase difference. Similarly, this is the superposition of two waves with having phase difference of pi. So the two crests are on opposite direction. You can see at every point they are pi out of phase, and that is why the resultant at every point will be zero. The sum of the displacements at every point will be zero, and this represents the resultant displacement of the two waves. So this is the superposition of two waves having phase difference of pi. Now you can see over here also, green wave traverses to the right while blue wave is traversing to the left. Green wave is going to the right, blue wave is coming to the left, and the net red wave amplitude at each point is the sum of the amplitude of the individual waves. You can see from here. That is an example of superposition principle. How they are adding up together, and at many points, if they meet in opposite phase, they will cancel also each other. At those points, the resultant will be 0. And when they meet in the same phase, they will add up their amplitudes to make the amplitude twice of them. So we have two identical waves moving in opposite directions. One given by, you can see, green wave is moving to the right, left, and blue wave is moving to the left, and red wave is the resultant of the two waves. That is an animated example of the superposition principle. Now, there are 3 examples of superpositions that we will be covering one after the other in the next few lectures. One is the interference. And interference, we will see that the two waves making superposition will have a constant phase difference altogether, and this will give you the redistribution of energy in space. Whereas you will have beats, and in beats you will have two waves superposing, having a difference in frequency, very small difference in frequency, and this will give you the distribution of energy not in a space but in time. That is, the intensity will be going from minimum to minimum in time. Whereas in interference, in a space, there will be distribution of energy from maximum to minimum. And in beats, we have distribution of energy from maximum to minimum in time. So we have interference in which the phase difference is constant, beats in which the phase difference will be changing with time. And then we have the stationary waves in which the two such waves moving in opposite directions, when they superimpose, then stationary waves are produced. So we will be discussing these 3 topics one after the other in next few classes. Thank you very much for your kind attention.